get us started. So welcome to our Monday night client support. Thank you guys all for coming. It's May 2nd. Can anybody believe that it's May already? I'm like blowing my mind. So yeah, super excited about that. And if this is your first time on Zoom, you can go up to the right-hand corner and click on the gallery view so you can see everybody. And if you have any questions, like if you're stuck or can't figure out how to get your sound to work, if you just type it in the chat, I'm sure somebody can help you there. But we're super excited to have you all. So we're having a super casual, relaxed night tonight of just hanging out together, talking about health, and just supporting each other, because it's so easy to find 100 friends that will go out to ice cream with you or happy hour with you on a rough night. But a group of supporters that are for your health, that are going to encourage you even on the rough days to support your goals, really rare gift, really sweet thing. So super excited for the evening, and I am going to pass it off to Megan Cody. Megan and I are going to chat about some different ways to really beat cravings. So Megan, if you want to pop off mute.
Yeah, thanks, Ty. I like what you said about having this support group. It's so true. In fact, little truth moment, Tiana's one of my best friends, a couple other really good friends through health coaching, and we were texting a group of us today, and each one of us had someone sick in the house, and we were just encouraging one another and saying like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now today. What are you doing? And I just don't find that with other people. So often it becomes a complaint session about toddlers or a complaint session about work or whatever. And that's just not what it's like in this community. And I just want to say I'm so thankful for that. So I think that's what I would kick off talking about beating cravings with is, who are you surrounding yourself with? No, that's not directly linked to cravings, but I find that we can really win in our health and really take domain over it when we have those people in our life. And it's awesome to have your health coach, but who have you brought along with you? Whether you've decided to become a coach and help friends and family, or if you've referred a few people to your coach, whatever, but have you brought people in your world along with you so that when you are having those hard days, you can turn to that person at work or call that good friend and say, hey, this is what's going on. So anyway, I just want to kick it off with that little real talk. But yeah, so cravings, it doesn't matter how far along you are in maintenance and on your health journey, but they're a real thing, and it's something that we always have to contend for. So the first thing I want to encourage you guys to do is, if you have pen and paper right now, I'd love for you to write down or to just even stop and think about 1 or 2 times a day, or 1 or 2 emotional situations, if you've identified this, where cravings trigger. And if you're going, what do you mean, Megan? Then I encourage you tomorrow to maybe journal a little bit and to take notes and to figure out, okay, what kicks it off? Because it's not always physical. Often it can be emotional that triggers for us to eat or want comfort food. Often it can be because we haven't had enough water for the day, and it is physical. Sometimes it can be a bad setup, whether it's that your office desk is right by your pantry, or that you walk into the break room to get your water, and that's where the donuts always are, and maybe you need to just keep water bottles stored at your desk. So again, write down 1 or 2 times during the day when you notice that you really have cravings, and start to think about, okay, how can I literally restructure that? What can I do? And sometimes it's something where we don't have a lot of control over, and I don't know if Tiana would like to chime in on this at all, but what I have found so often for myself and with other coaches and clients on my team is that we can often come up with some sort of creative solution to break a habit and to identify what's going on there. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Ty?
Yeah, I absolutely would. I think for me, it's really helpful if you look at cravings in 2 ways. I feel like they fall into 2 categories. One is more of the physical cravings, like let's talk about like the first 3 to 4 days on program, where you're burning through those stored sugars, or maybe you went off and you're coming back on. And again, you're kind of working through your stored glycogens, and your body is not sure if it really wants to go into fat burn yet. That's like one kind of craving. But then after that first like 3 or 4 days, we launch into the rest of our life of emotional cravings, of sometimes just feeling like, I mean, let's just be honest, if we're going to speak real about this, food feels like it's going to fill a hole that it never does. And so oftentimes when we're sad or we're upset, or your toddler won't take a nap or, whatever that may be, you like instantly are like, whew, I really need cheese and bread. Like I need a Dairy Queen Blizzard because my boss just was mad at me. Or do you know what I mean? There's things that trigger more emotionally. But as far as some creative things, this actually comes really at a very interesting time, because I'm on day 2 of 4 and 2. Me and my husband are taking a little couple weeks to refocus because we've gotten a little off track. So I'm in the thick of it with you all right now. And so today, a couple of things that I've used is number 1, getting out of the kitchen. Guys, I apologize. My girl's using her little loud toy. Getting out of the kitchen. We have an open concept living area. So that means I like go to my office and I'm been organizing stuff, or get outside and we play bubbles. Another thing is making a list that like goes on the inside door of your pantry, or on top of, on the outside of your fridge, of like 5 to 10 things that take 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe it's organizing a junk drawer. Maybe it's walking around the block. Maybe it's calling a friend that you haven't chatted with in a while. That's uplifting. Don't call your complainer friend. Picking things. Maybe it's, I don't know, mowing the lawn or picking a bucket of weeds. Just finding things that are going to physically remove you from the situation and also emotionally remove you from the situation. It's just really helpful if you can stop it in the moment. It's all about mindfulness of, I guess it's mindful distractions. Choosing your distractions well. Last night, I told my husband, like, I just want to watch a show. Like, I want to watch a Food Network show. And he goes, whoa, Diana, that's a horrible idea. And I was like, oh, you're right. That would be a horrible idea. If you're already, like, prone, this is not the time to go on Pinterest unless you're very active about unfollowing people's dessert boards. This is not the time to go watch a cake decorating show. Like, just be careful about what you're using to distract yourself. So yeah, Meg, what about you? Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, that's so good. Another thing I would say, I like that Diana gave you like things you could do around the house, or if you have like a home office, that's really awesome. Sometimes you're like in the thick of, maybe you work a 9 to 5. So a couple of ideas for that is, if you're a client of mine, and you've heard me say often that it's very, very difficult to replace, like completely erase a habit that is set in stone, but you can substitute out. So when that trigger happens, that you literally start to create a new habit. So for some people, they have, let's just use the example of dessert after dinner as a habit, or wine after dinner. And it's hard. Like, you're still going to often think after dinner, I want that, or whatever it is for you. Everyone has different scenarios. But so I encourage clients to replace it with a healthy habit. So, and to identify something you enjoy. Do you really enjoy yoga? Do you really enjoy walking? Start to substitute it out. And when you're going, I want that. Okay, I'm going to take a quick 10-minute walk. Or maybe it's, I really feel like I do need to like put something to my mouth because I'm used to having that dessert or wine. Get a LaCroix, however you say it, bubbly water, put some ice cubes in it, drink it out of your wine glass. And I know the first few times it might not be as fun, but it does start to become a habit and a ritual, just like that wine did, or just like that dessert did, where you will get to a point where you feel so good that you aren't even really missing it anymore. And just start to identify those things. For some people, it's like, I feel like I just need to eat. And so, okay, maybe some sugar-free gum. For other people, something else I want to talk about is social eating, because let's face it, we're coming up to barbecue season and summer grill outs and all that fun stuff going on, and that's really fun. But so many people struggle with triggers with social situations. So identify and talk through that with yourself before you go to that barbecue of, is there going to be a healthy option there? If not, I think I might just bring my own lean and green to share with everyone. Bring my own burgers to throw on the grill that I know that will be a lean for me. Identify things that go on with you when you're in those social situations. Is it that the food is there? Is it that you feel uncomfortable without a drink in your hand? Great, then get your glass of water, or have, if you really need to, so you feel like you're enjoying a sweet drink while everyone else is having alcohol, have a diet soda, because that can be on plan, and it'd be better to do that than go off, or have some water with lemon in it. But that's just something else I wanted to speak to, is the social triggers that often happen, and how in our minds it can, sometimes we feel like we're having cravings and it's really just an emotional thing going on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Megan. And thanks for reminding us about barbecues. I think the one thing I see year after year with clients is that we're prepped for the holidays. Emotionally, we know it's going to be tricky, right? But somehow barbecues and fruit are really surprising every year. Like every client is like, oh, but like as if, I think it just doesn't have the same connotation in our brain. So be really mindful. Talk with your coach about that. Let them know when you're struggling with one of those things, especially the fruit. We can give some ideas to help you remember, help you get that feeling in. But also remember, this isn't the last year that strawberries are going to come in season. This isn't the last year that there's going to be barbecues. And depending on where you are in your journey, maybe you're going to enjoy it at the end of the summer, and maybe it's going to be next summer when you're feeling fantastic and your shorts aren't tighter than you'd like to be. You're comfortable in your own skin. And so just remember that maybe you're saying no right now, but it's not forever. So yeah. Wonderful. Okay, well, we're going to pop over to the very funnest part of the evening, and I think Randy is going to take us away on the weekly celebrations. Randy, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Well, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do this funnest part of the week, the client celebrations. Before we do that, I just want to add a few more comments to what we were just talking about. I think for me personally, it was boredom and fatigue. Those are two things I would just say. If I'm bored, I just tend to knee-jerk into eating things just because I'm bored. I don't have much to do. So I think you were saying it a different way, but if you keep your mind preoccupied or you're doing something else, then obviously your mind is taken off those situations. Fatigue, I was just talking to Patty. I mean, if you're not getting a good enough amount of rest every night and you're tired, you're going to have less, I guess, willpower to make those healthy decisions. So I would encourage everybody to really think about how much sleep are you getting, so when you wake up, you do feel rested. A lot of what we're talking about here tonight has to do with the healthy mind, and I know we talked a lot last week about, when you, our bodies are important, and that's part of it, and you start losing weight, you feel good. But I really was excited to hear whoever shared it, I don't even know who it was, but said they dropped their cell phone and they just realized how, it wasn't such a big deal. They weren't as stressed out, and they didn't freak out over that. I mean, it was a bad situation, but they didn't have quite the reaction that they would normally have had. So as we go into our client celebrations, I want to think about, beyond just the scale. When you think about a healthy mind, what are some of the things that are happening that you're saying, man, I'm just reacting differently. I'm more upbeat. I'm more positive. One more thought before I turn it over to you guys is I had a client just say, hey, my feet aren't hurting anymore because the inflammation has gone down, and you're starting to see that things that you didn't realize were connected to your weight is actually going away or getting better. So anyway, I know there's a lot of you guys out there ready to share, and I also want to hear from some of the guys out there too. But anyway, I'll just turn it over to you guys. If you're going to share, just go to the bottom left and make sure you click on the microphone so you can pop off mute. So, all right, I'm done. So go ahead and whoever wants to share.
Randy, I'll start.
Okay.
So my son's first birthday was on Friday, and I handmade both his smash cake and his cake for everyone else. And so for me, it was a big deal not to put my hand in the icing or to have any of the cake on his birthday because it was pretty nostalgic for me because my mom made all of our cakes and she's no longer with us. So I was pretty excited about that.
That's awesome. Lisa, that's great. Thank you for sharing. Anytime we have an opportunity to make a decision or pass on something, or that is a huge victory, and we have to remind ourselves how big of a deal that really is. So having the ability to say, no, I'm not going to do that, and making a healthy choice, let's not discount those choices. Those are really big victories. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Anybody else?
Hey, Randy, this is Emily.
Emily, yes.
I have something I'd like to share. So I work from home, and I've been working from home for about 2 years since we moved here from Washington, D.C. And my office is in Fairfax, Virginia, and so I haven't seen my coworkers for about 2 years since we moved here. And I'm finally traveling back to the office for a business trip next week. And so a couple of things I'm excited for. First is I'm excited to see if my coworkers notice my 20-pound weight loss since I haven't seen them in 2 years. So that'll be interesting. Second thing is I went to try on all my work clothes. I haven't had to wear them in a couple years, and nothing fit. So not a bad problem to have, but absolutely nothing fit. And so last week I went shopping, and this was my first serious shopping trip since I lost weight, and probably the most fun shopping trip I've ever been on. So that was good.
How fun is that to be able to know that you get to go get a new wardrobe? Now, I think we need to put a disclaimer sometimes out there to say, caution, you may have to go get a new wardrobe if you try this plan. So
yes, definitely. It was fun.
And then you probably got rid of a lot of stuff that you said, I'm never going to go back to those clothes again, right?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot going to Goodwill.
That's great. Well, that's fun. And I know that I had to do the same thing. I had to go through a bunch of stuff, and it was actually freeing to be able to say, I'm never going to go back to those clothes. And I always look at, if I do get to the place where my pants start getting a little tight, that's enough for me to make sure I'm doing the right things, to not just go up and get the next bigger size, you know? So thank you for sharing that. Great. All right, who else? All right, I haven't heard a guy share yet. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm Brittany.
Share about a new client that I have from last week, lost 10 pounds his first week.
Wow.
And commented to my husband this week that his arthritis had almost completely stopped bothering him after 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
In 1 week, 10 pounds, and all of his arthritis is gone, or just?
He said most of his arthritis pain was gone in 1 week.
Wow. So I know when we talk about how much can happen in a first week, most people go, yeah, I would never imagine that. But when you hear stories like this is for real.
Absolutely.
This is for real. And you never know what's going to be impacted. When somebody loses weight, you never know what other things are going to go away as a byproduct of losing weight. How cool is that? What's your husband's name over there? I see him out of the corner of the...
His name is Steve.
Steve. Steve, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Are you on the plan as well?
I am. I'm going back on the 5 and 1 tomorrow because I did gain a little weight around Christmas.
Okay.
But I had, by that time, lost 100 pounds since last January. So.
Wow. Congratulations.
And have been able to get off all my blood pressure medications, cholesterol, and I had a CPAP machine for a number of years. I no longer have sleep apnea. So lots of great positive benefits.
So, man, where do I even start? First of all, congratulations. And when you think about clearing out your closet and your wardrobe, I'm sure you probably had quite a exciting time saying, I'm never going to go back to those clothes again, right?
Absolutely true. Goodwill and Salvation Army have been regular stops.
Awesome. Well, that's very inspiring. This is the reason, guys, why we do this. When you hear stories like this, people that don't have arthritis, losing 100 pounds, I mean, I don't know that it gets any more exciting than this. So thank you for sharing, Steve. Wow. Okay. Anybody else?
Randy, this is Brittany.
I'll share.
Okay. Brittany?
I have something silly to share.
Okay.
So mine has to do, I have an 11-month-old daughter, and she gets to eat all kinds of yummy things like toast and fruit. And I have been kind of tempted by what she's been eating, specifically fruit, just wanting a taste of that. And just recently, I've really just changed my mindset to be, you know, that you know, she's eating what she needs to eat to fuel her little body, her growing little body. And I'm eating what I need to eat to fuel my body right now, and what, you know, where I'm at in my health with what I need right now to properly fuel myself. So it's just been a shift in my thinking with that.
Yeah. So freedom to know that you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing for her and yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I look at the plan, when I first started, I said, just knowing that what I'm putting in my body is healthy, and I don't have to question or wonder, is this good for me? It's just, knowledge is power. And knowing that we have the tools, and so many people out there need these tools just like we have. So thank you for sharing. It's great to be equipped with the right type of tools to help us control and lose weight and get healthy. Okay, anybody else out there? Got a few more minutes.
I can go. I have a few actually. I posted my transformation the other day because I became a health coach a couple weeks ago, and I got quite a response, which has been great. And I lost 17 pounds. It was like 17 and a half or 18, but then it went to 17. And so I have 2 clients, potentially a third one that's going to decide tonight, although I think she's in, which is great. My first client has lost 10 pounds her first week. And tomorrow's my check-in day with her, and so I'm curious to see. She did text me a couple of days ago because it's hard your first week or second week not to get on the scale. And even though I told her try not to, she's gotten on. So as of the other day, she had lost 3 more pounds, which is great. So I can't wait to find out tomorrow. And I had one more, but I don't remember what it is. So.
That's awesome. That's great. I don't know. I know we have to be careful whenever we say how many pounds somebody can lose in their first week. But tell you what, I'm hearing a lot of double digits first week, and so. But I know we can't say, hey, you're going to lose 10 pounds. But when people get on the scale and they see that they've lost almost 9 or 10 pounds, how amazing is that? And I think it's just. It's amazing to hear the amount of progress that can be made in 1 week's time. So, wow, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I've got a few more minutes, so I know there's some others that are dying to pop off mute.
Randy, this is Lauren Palm.
Yes.
Can you share? Hi.
Hi.
So I have a couple. I saw some friends this weekend that I hadn't seen for a while, and they definitely noticed that I've lost some weight since I've been on Take Shape for Life, starting with the Nursing Moms program up until now. I've lost about 16 pounds, so they definitely noticed that, and that was really great.
Nice.
I also sort of relating what to Megan was saying earlier. I had a stressful day at work last week, and during the evening, I was really finding myself wanting to just like numb myself with a glass of wine, food, something like that, just to take away the discomfort of that bad day at work. But then I saw Katie Quinn posted something on Facebook that said, you know, feel empowered that you're making the healthy choice instead of deprived by the unhealthy food that you're not having. And that totally shifted my mindset. I saw that and I was like, you know, that's right. I'm empowered. And it not only, you know, sort of helped me through that moment, it also helped me see how often I think maybe I don't really fully feel an emotion that I need to feel. Sorry, because I'm just going to use food or a glass of wine to sort of stifle that emotion. So it taught me just so much about this journey and how it's also about just learning to deal with things rather than suppress those feelings with unhealthy stuff.
Yeah, I really like what you just said. The word empowerment is a very powerful word with the word power in the word empowerment. But when we have the ability to make the decisions and know that we have now control of this thing that was out of control is very freeing. And so this is what Take Shape Life has given everybody on this call, the ability to have that empowerment to be able to take back control. So, well, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back. Do you want to take it, Tiana?
I will.
Okay.
I will. I love having the microphone. Okay. I'm just kidding. You guys, thank you so much for coming on, especially taking some time out of your Monday night. These little huddle moments are really crucial to your success in just keeping you encouraged, whether you're in your weight loss mode, you're in transition, you're maintaining. Just 30 minutes of your week is like, I mean, it's like, what, 2% of your Monday. It's a very small amount. So thanks for popping on. I'd love to hear your guys' non-scale victories and scale victories on the Get Healthy and Thrive if you weren't able to sneak in, or if you're an introvert and you talking out loud totally freaks you out, you can just type it and we can celebrate with you there. So thanks everyone and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.